Welcome everyone to the Geography 5030 Descriptive Regional Analysis poster session. I'm Professor Edgel and I'll be sharing some of my students' posters with you. The first poster is Global Flood Myths, an Evolution of Scholarship.
My name is David Pierce, and I did my project on global flood myths and evolution of scholarship. And on my poster, I have basically 5 flood myths represented that represent 5 of the continents. And flood myths pretty much have been found in everyone except for Antarctica. The first one, of course, is the one from Genesis, the story of Noah and the flood. And then we've got one from India, which is one where Vishnu becomes a fish and basically brings them to safety. Something very similar to Genesis. The Aztecs in North America, the Great Chinese Flood of China, and then in the Greek Isles, they have the one of Deucalion. And each one of these have a lot of similarities to Genesis and a lot of differences too. Many people believe that maybe it was cultural diffusion that brought it about, but we're not sure about that yet. But anyway, I also have the map of everywhere that you find these. Basically, when it comes down to it, the scholarship starts with missionaries that find corroboration in these stories as they go through the continents, spreading Christianity. Then it goes really until Darwin. They really start looking at geology and the evidence thereof, and they find that it's wanting, that it's not complete, and it would support regional but not global. And then you get to the 80s, literary criticism becomes very big, gender studies with the patriarchy of the myths, and then finally with global warming. And that is my project. Any questions?
The next poster will consider gentrification of school districts.
Hello, my name is Amanda Beebe, and I did my poster on the gentrification of school districts. As you can see on the poster, the information runs as cause and effect. I first listed where gentrification mainly takes place, which is in the larger cities such as Detroit, Chicago, Oakland, Philadelphia. I then added the process and the effects. The research on gentrification is not absolute. There are varying aspects of the positives and the negative effects. The research is on the fence. Therefore, I fall on the side where the negative effects outweigh the positives. You would have to decide for yourself which side you fall on. Thank you.
The next poster will look at Pines, Swamps, and Fields, a geographic study of the Tory War, 1781.
Hey, my name is Andrew Deemer. I did my project on a geographic study of the Tory War. Starting off my abstract, I talk about essentially my thesis for this project, which is that the Tory War was a war that was fought unconventionally, but it was done so because of the geography that the war was fought in. As demonstrations of that fact, I've got the top two on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. In the red and blue, I talk about the longleaf pine forests, which is a region that the war was fought in, and then the swamps of Lake Robeson County, in which the war was also fought in. These two environments were inhospitable to conventional tactics and forced the combatants to fight unconventionally. At the bottom, I talk about the one major conventional battle of the war and the reasons that it was fought that way, and that is because the geography allowed for it to be fought that way. So in conclusion, essentially, what I am getting apart here is that the Tory War was not a war of unconventional warfare out of choice. It was done so out of necessity.
The final poster will look at sea turtle rehabilitation centers and their fight against extinction.
So my name is Mary Heather Cox, and I've done my research project on sea turtle rehabilitation centers and their fight against extinction within this species. So across the world, there are many animals that are threatened, vulnerable, endangered, as well as very close to extinction. And with the simplest Google search on the topic, you realize how relevant this topic is as you find headlines such as how many endangered species are there in 2020, what animals will go extinct by 2050, And what are the 10 most endangered species in the world? And among this top 10 list of the world's most endangered animals that are prone to extinction within the next decade is various types of sea turtles. Saving the sea turtles has become a trending topic around the world as more people realize that the human role usually is the biggest factor in why an animal is prone to extinction. Sea turtles are at a high risk for extinction from habitat loss, bycatch, and pollution, as well as climate change. And one of the biggest erring questions in regard to sea turtles on the rise of extinction is, what can I do to help? The answer to that question is to contact your local sea turtle rehabilitation and conservation center. Sea turtle rehabilitation centers rescue sick and injured sea turtles as they offer on-site care and treatment for these animals. And across the east coast of the United States, there are more than a dozen of these sea turtle rehabilitation centers that help aid in sea turtle extinction. And my poster uses a question and answer method that examines exactly what type of treatment sea turtles receive in a rehabilitation center, what kind of injuries are common, how long it usually takes for them to heal, does human pollution play a major role in why these sea turtles have felt ill, are they always tagged and monitored, and as well as how long do they usually live when they are released back into the ocean.
Thank you for listening, everyone.